for some of you that want to work towards your single leg stretch but have issues staying within a neutral or safe spine setting when you've got both feet off the ground, you may like to use a piece of equipment such as an exercise band to help anchor you into that safe spine setting. I'm going to show you a build-up of exercises and how to incorporate the band. Now the first exercise is your single leg toe taps. I'm giving you this because it's a good grounding on an exercise and a movement pattern that will later develop into the single leg stretch variation. So laying on your back in supine, you want to make sure that you're in your neutral spine. When you're in neutral, you've got the gap between your lumbar spine and the mat, and your pubic bone and your hip bones are level. Not one is higher than the other, and that helps you to maintain a level pelvis and a neutral spine, where your lumbar spine arch is still apparent. You're going to switch on to your transverse abdominis and your pelvic floor. Inhale pelvic floor, exhale transverse band. Flattening those abdominals from hip bone to hip bone, not pressing the lumbar spine into the mat. We want to maintain neutral as much as possible. Hands can rest on your rib cage. You're going to inhale, expanding at the lungs, not the belly, and exhale, the ribs sinking in and down. Inhale deeply. And as you exhale to sink the ribs in and down, you're going to float 1 foot off the mat, knee lifting above your hip bone into our single leg tabletop. Holding this positioning, checking that your abdominals are flattening, not your lumbar spine into the mat. We're going to exhale, tap the toe, and inhale to float knee over hip. So we've got our single leg toe taps here. We're utilising the flattening of the abdominals, the draw down of the ribs on the exhale, to tap the toe to the mat, and the inhale to float. Now I've got one hand in my lumbar spine and one on my transverse band, and I'm checking that I'm maintaining neutral throughout this. I can also run my hand up onto my rib cage. As I exhale, the ribs want to sink in and down, so I'm connecting to the obliques, as well as maintaining neutral spine within the upper spine. So I'm not arching or lifting the rib cage from the mat. Good. Once you've done about 10 reps, you can place the foot down and exchange sides. You may need to switch back on or connect to your T-zone once more before you come into the tabletop. And again, begin the exhale to tap, drawing the ribs in and down, flattening the abdominals as you tap the toe to the mat, and inhale to float knee over hip. You want to maintain neutral throughout this here, and then you'll know that you're working within a safe spine setting. Now, once you've gone through your toe taps, 10 repetitions on each side, we're then going to incorporate the band and go into a leg press movement. So as I come back to the mat and I bring both feet down, I can switch off, grab hold of my band, and now incorporate a piece of equipment. So I'm going to teach you leg press, and then we're going to add in that toe tap positioning. So to come into a single leg tabletop position, neutral spine, switch on pelvic floor and abdominals, and then bring the foot off the mat, knee lifting above the hip bone. I'm going to momentarily bring the knee towards my chest, and I imprint my lower back. I'm very aware I've moved out of neutral spine. I'm going to loop the band over the sole of the foot, and I'm going to keep the band in this open position. Don't cross the band over. Run your hands down the ends of the band and gather up resistance over your wrists. Pull your elbows into the mat, draw your shoulder blades back and down, a light tuck of your chin to your chest. Your upper body is anchored down, and you're going to use the resistance to switch on your upper body strength here. Now bring your knee back over your hip bone and come back to thinking about your neutral spine setting. Good. We're going to go into leg press. So on the exhale, I'm going to kick forwards at 45 degrees into the band to extend the leg. I want to drive forwards with my quadricep through my knee and through the heel of my foot. Inhale, knee comes back to tabletop. Good. As you exhale to extend, the abdominals want to flatten, ribs drawing towards the hips. Inhale, knee to tabletop. Lovely. Exhale and inhale. I'm not moving my spine out of neutral. I'm really utilising my abdominals. And the exhale to push forwards into that resistance and utilise the musculature of the leg itself as if I was using the leg press at the gym. Good. Let's do one more. Drive the leg forwards, exhale, and inhale, come back to tabletop, hold. knee alignment over hip. Now we're going to add in that toe tap. You're going to use the resistance of the band to anchor the pelvis within this safe spine neutral setting. So as you drive the leg forwards into the band, into that leg extension at 45 degrees, exhaling, flattening those abdominals, I'm going to sneak my knee through the band, the supporting leg just tucking, and I come into tabletop on the opposite leg. Good. Now as I inhale to bend the knee back to tabletop of the leg that's in the band, I'm going to toe tap towards the mat. Yes. As you exhale, kick forwards into the band, driving through the quadricep, flattening those abdominals, bringing the knee to tabletop on the opposite non-banded leg. Good. From here, inhale, tap the toe, knee to tabletop of the banded leg. Exhale. And inhale, use the upper body strength to anchor the resistance of the band. And utilize the tension that you're creating through the band itself as you drive that leg extension forwards and the abdominals flattening to use that toe tap pattern. Good. Lovely. 2. And 1. Good. Come back to tabletop. Bring the foot back of your supporting leg to the mat. Bring the knee to chest, lift the band off. Place the band to the side, roll the wrists. So there you go. You can adapt some exercises to help you transition through a neutral spine, single leg tabletop position into a double leg tabletop position, utilising cues that you would have learned from previous exercises. I hope that gives you a little bit of a different view into how Pilates and movement patterns can